The wind howled across the high Arizona desert like a dying wolf when Cole Ramsey saw the lone figure staggering toward his cabin. Dusk bled crimson over the mesas, and the temperature was already dropping hard. The rider was wrapped in a ragged wool blanket, hatless, long black hair whipping loose. At 50 yards he knew it was a woman. At 20 he saw the high cheekbones and copper skin and knew she was Apache. She fell from the saddle before he reached her. The paint pony stood trembling, lathered white. Cole caught her under the arms as she went down. She weighed next to nothing, but her eyes snapped open, black and fierce, and for a heartbeat he thought she would pull the skinning knife at her belt. Instead her knees buckled and she sagged against him. "Water," she rasped in Spanish. "Por favor." He carried her inside, kicked the door shut against the wind, and laid her on the bunk. She drank from the canteen like a creature that had forgotten water existed. When she lowered it, blood stained the neck of her buckskin dress. A bullet had creased her just under the collarbone. "Bandits?" he asked. She nodded once. "Mexicanos. South of the border. They took everything. Horses. My brother," her voice cracked, then hardened again. "I rode 3 days." Cole soaked a rag in the basin, cleaned the wound best he could. "Shallow. She'd live if fever didn't take her." He poured a finger of whiskey over it. She didn't flinch. "You can stay the night," he said. "1 night. Then you ride on. I don't want trouble with your people or mine." She studied him in the lamplight. "My name is Nalini." "You have my word." "1 night." He gave her the bunk, took the floor himself with his bedroll and Winchester across his chest. Outside, the wind screamed around the eaves. He slept light, the way a man learns when he's spent years riding away from things he'd done. Sometime past midnight the latch rattled. Cole was up with the rifle before his eyes were fully open. Nalini sat upright too, hand on her knife. 3 shadows slipped inside without knocking. Apaches. 2 warriors and a boy no older than 15. The first warrior's face was painted black with charcoal, the second carried a Spencer carbine older than he was. The boy's eyes were wide, scared, but he held a trade musket steady. Nalini spoke rapid Apache. The painted warrior answered, voice low, angry. Cole caught only a few words, enough to know they were arguing about him. "English," Cole said. "Speak it where I can hear." Nalini turned. "This is my husband, Taza. And my brother, Goklahea. The boy is my cousin. They tracked me. They will not leave me." Cole's mouth went dry. "Husband." Of course she had a husband. He kept the Winchester level. "I told you 1 night. That offer didn't stretch to a war party." Taza stepped forward. He was tall, shoulders wide as an axe handle. A scar ran from his left ear to the corner of his mouth. He looked at the rifle, then at Cole's eyes, and smiled without warmth. "You gave my woman shelter," he said in slow, perfect English. "That buys you 1 night of life. Maybe 2. After that, we see." Cole felt the room shrink. 4 Apaches in a 12 by 12 cabin. 1 wounded woman, 2 hard-eyed warriors, and a jumpy boy. His Henry repeater and Colt were on the wall pegs, 10 feet away. The Winchester in his hands suddenly felt like a child's toy. "Put the guns down," Nalini said quietly. "All of you. We are guests here." Taza's eyes never left Cole. Guests do not sleep with rifles pointed at hosts. Cole lowered the Winchester an inch. Hosts don't get invited when they come through the door unannounced. Silence stretched, thin as wire. The lamp flickered. Somewhere outside a coyote yipped, then thought better of it. Goklahea broke first. He crossed the room, set the Spencer against the wall, and sat cross-legged by the stove. The boy followed, placing the musket beside it. Taza waited 3 heartbeats longer, then unslung a rawhide quiver and laid his bow and stone-headed war club beside the guns. Only then did Cole set the Winchester down, slowly, within reach. Nalini exhaled like a woman who'd been holding her breath for years. They ate pemmican and hardtack in silence. Cole poured coffee thick enough to float a horseshoe. Taza drank his black, watching Cole over the rim. You fought in the war between the states, Taza said suddenly. Cole's hand tightened on the tin cup. Long time ago. Blue coat or gray? Gray. Till the end. Taza nodded, as if that explained something. My people fought the blue coats. And the gray coats. And the Mexicans. And each other. War is simple. Peace is complicated. Cole almost laughed. He was trapped in his own house with 4 Apaches who could kill him before breakfast, and the man wanted to philosophize. Outside, the wind died. An unnatural stillness settled, the kind that comes before snow or blood. Goklahea stood suddenly, head cocked. He crossed to the window, peered through the frost. Horses, he whispered. Cole heard it then, hooves, slow and deliberate, coming up the draw. More than 2. More than 4. Taza was already moving, silent as smoke. He snatched up the Spencer, worked the lever. Goklahea took the musket. The boy looked at Nalini, terrified. Cole grabbed the Winchester and blew out the lamp. Moonlight spilled through the window, silver and merciless. 6 riders stopped 50 yards out. White men. Hard cases by the look of them, slouch hats, dusters, rifles across their saddles. One held a torch. The leader cupped hands to his mouth. Ramsey! We know you got the Apache bitch in there. Send her out and we ride away. You got 10 seconds. Cole's stomach dropped through the floorboards. The Mexican bandits Nalini had fled weren't Mexican at all. They were Americans. Scalp hunters. And they'd followed her blood trail straight to his door. Nalini's face went stone hard. Slaughter's men, she said. They killed my little sister for her hair. $50 a scalp in Sonora. Cole thumbed the hammer back on the Winchester. They ain't getting yours. Taza looked at him, then really looked, and something shifted behind the warrior's eyes. Respect, maybe. Or recognition of a man who'd just chosen the losing side. 6 shooters, Taza said. 1 door. 1 window. We kill them or they burn us out. Cole glanced at the boy, shaking so hard the musket rattled in his hands. Kid can't reload fast enough. I can, the boy said, voice cracking. I will. Nalini was on her feet, wound forgotten, stringing Taza's bow with fingers that didn't tremble. We have 12 arrows. 20 cartridges between the rifles. 2 pistols. She looked at Cole. And you. The torch arced through the night, landed on the porch roof. Flames whooshed up, greedy. Time's up, the leader shouted. Cole made his choice in the space between one heartbeat and the next. He kicked the door open and stepped onto the porch as the roof caught. Firelight painted everything red. Evening, boys, he called. You want the woman, you'll have to come through me. The leader laughed, raised his Henry. That's the plan, Ramsey. The night exploded. Cole dropped the first man with a .44-40 through the pump. Taza fired from the window, lever action singing, and another rider toppled. Goklahea's musket boomed, a horse screamed and went down, pinning its rider. Then the return fire came like hail on tin. Bullets shredded the doorframe, whined through the walls. Cole dove back inside as sparks showered from the burning roof. Nalini loosed 3 arrows faster than any man could work a breech. One took a shooter through the throat. The boy reloaded with frantic speed, handed the musket to Goklahea, took it back smoking. The cabin filled with powder smoke and the smell of burning pine. The roof groaned. A beam crashed down in a fountain of sparks. We can't stay. Cole yelled. Taza grabbed Nalini's arm. The back window. They smashed it out. Cold air rushed in, feeding the flames. Cole boosted the boy through first, then Nalini. Goklahea followed. Taza paused, looked at Cole. Together, the Apache said. Cole nodded. They went out shoulder to shoulder. The remaining 3 scalp hunters had dismounted, advancing through drifting smoke. One raised a shotgun. Cole and Taza fired at the same instant. The scattergun spun away, the man folded. The last 2 broke and ran for their horses. Goklahea's musket cracked again. One dropped. The final man flung himself into the saddle and spurred into the dark. Silence fell, broken only by the roar of the burning cabin. They stood in the freezing night, 5 figures ringed by firelight. Cole's home was a pyre. Everything he owned. Saddle, books, the photograph of a woman who died in Virginia gone. Nalini touched his arm. I am sorry. Cole looked at the flames, then at the 4 Apaches who had come for one night and ended up saving his life. Or damning it. Taza offered his hand, palm up. After a moment Cole clasped it. The grip was iron. You gave my woman shelter, Taza said. Now we give you a horse. And a name among my people. Cole managed half a grin. Reckon I'll need both. Army'll call this aiding hostiles. I'm a dead man either way. Nalini stepped close, pressed something into his hand, a small turquoise bear fetish on a rawhide cord. Then ride with us, Cole Ramsey. One night became forever. Behind them the cabin roof collapsed in a storm of sparks that rose like burning stars into the desert sky. Cole hung the fetish around his neck, swung up on the paint pony that had carried Nalini to his door. The 5 of them turned their backs on the fire and rode south under a moon cold as judgment. Somewhere behind, the last scalp hunter would bring word to forts and towns. Ahead lay Mexico, and beyond that the Sierra Madre where no white man hunted Apache and lived. Cole glanced once over his shoulder at the glow on the horizon, then spurred the pony to catch the others. One night, he thought. Just one damn night. The desert swallowed them whole.